Alright guys, it's the Christmas season and I'm kind of in between projects right now. I put this off because I have my son's pressure washer, and so I was able to use his to finish the job. But what happened is Harbor Freight has, it's their cheap pressure washer, which is not a bad pressure washer, but in Harbor Freight's infinite non-wisdom, you can get the on-off button in between positions and it'll kick on by itself basically. So I had used this thing on my walkway in the fall, and then I went inside and was rocking out to music and it came on, and I didn't know it, obviously didn't have water running through it. And I don't know, it ran for probably 2 hours on the porch. I'm surprised it didn't catch fire, but it burnt it up. And I'll tilt it down a little bit so you guys can see. This rotary knob that's on these doesn't have a very good switch. However Harbor Freight designed this, it should physically or significantly detent between off and on. Well, you can clearly get it in the middle. That's in the middle, and what it did is it was like right here, and it kicked on and ran till it burnt up. So, burnt up, I'm not sure what that means. We're gonna take this thing apart today, and best case scenario would be throwing new O-rings in it and having a working pressure washer. Worst case scenario would be a bunch of galling and it's for sure toast. It got really hot, so it's likely that it's burnt up, for real burnt up, but we're gonna find out. So we're gonna take this thing apart, see if I can fix it, and if I can, great. If I can't, that sucks. I think that somehow it pivots from the bottom up. I haven't quite figured that part out yet. There we go. We got any snaps or anything? What do we got going on here? Got any Black Widows? Alright. Not quite sure what to do. Start taking screws out. Black Widow. Alright. Verify that there's none hiding underneath here. there's a fan. I have a feeling what's bad is in this metal section, but so far I don't know how to get that off. Okay, there's our motor. So I'll show you guys up close. These are loose and there's a little gap right here. I don't know if that has anything to do with anything, but we're gonna keep going. Oh, what do you mean it rub? You a stupid American? We make fantastic product for Harbor Freight. There we go. It was just the type of grease they used. Alright, now that I got my hands washed up, we're going to take these stages apart. I don't know what they're going to look like. Oh, broke loose here. Can't get those mixed up, so let's see what this one is for length. So on this, wow, did they use 3 different sizes? On this pump, this long one goes towards the brass side, towards the inlet. Is there any more? That's it. Okay, I don't see anything screwed up here. Just so I can orient this the same way. Make sure here. Okay. Alright, metal shavings is never a good thing when you pull a pump apart. Oh, that is the most glitter I've seen in a long time. Oh, and it smells awful. Oh. Oh, oh yeah. I don't think there's any fixing that. Oh, I think that thing is smoked. In fact, I know it is. All right, so you can see all the forbidden glitter all over everything. And if I point this up, you can see that, I'll use this as a pointer. You can see that there's a bunch of scoring here, and there's some problems right there, and it's even worn off a little bit here. Now this is called a plain thrust bearing, or at least that's what they call it in China. Alrighty, so plain thrust axial ball bearing. It's not an axial needle bearing. I'll show you what's going on. Excuse me. I still am going to have to sort out the fluid. I'm thinking that it's a I'm thinking the fluid is a hydraulic type fluid or a mineral oil. I'm going to try to do some research and figure out what was in there. It kind of stunk. It kind of had a fishy, but I don't know what else to call it smell. So I'll show you guys the bearing. I've got all 18 balls. So this measures 52 by 52 OD, 13 cross section, and 35 ID basically. What happened is, I mean, I don't know exactly what happened, but you can see that this disintegrated. You can see it's totally destroyed. And most of you are going to say, hey, bro, go buy a new pressure washer. They're $90. Well, I don't want it. I'd rather buy a 99-cent bearing on AliExpress and fix what's here. Now, there's a chance. So it says that it's a 52 by, 35 by 12. Mine's a 13. I'm thinking that these bearings will make up the difference, or these springs. And so the other thing is, all the bearings have this type of face on them. Harbor Freight has this piece is special made, or I don't have the bearing number. So normally the two halves of these bearings would just be two of those. I have no idea what caused this thing to fail. It shouldn't have failed. So I'm actually thinking that maybe there's a quality issue. I may smoke the brand new bearing I put in here, but I'm sure going to try. I am going to inspect everything on here. I don't see anything else that's failed on here. So I have to get all the forbidden flakes out of there. Most of that is aluminum. I don't believe this bearing area where the bearing goes, that is not shared with any other system. The water system is obviously separate. So I'll pick around with some kind of little pinprick tool to make sure there's little tiny ports in the water side of it, but those may be clogged a little bit. Anyways, I'm going to order this bearing. Oh, bearing number, let me get that. Bearing number is 51107. And I went on AliExpress, and what I'm going to do is actually use probably just this part here. I'm going to use the other two races. Hopefully they're the same. It's 99 cents, so this is almost zero risk. It's going to come in like, I don't know, 10 days or something. So anyways, we'll get back on this project then. Don't know why it came apart. It actually shouldn't have. It's in a oil bath, so it shouldn't have come apart. So I don't know. Harbor Freight, piece of shit product. It's not that this particular thing is a piece of shit. The pressure washer's been pretty good to me. So anyways, we'll get back to it when it comes in. All right, guys, we got our bearing in. I'm assuming it's the right size. Whoops, but I'm not totally sure. I'm pretty sure this is what I need to get into. These were like $5 out of China for two of them. And we'll see what kind of match it is. Let's see if it's close or the same. You can see what they're supposed to look like when they're not destroyed. I think it's going to work. So that's not going to work. So both of these are special races made by Harbor Freight with a different ID. So we get to reuse those. Is that right? Oh, I could be wrong. Hold on. Strike that from the record. Okay. So one of the races is not a match and one is. So this is the old one here. Put that in the baggie. And then this bearing is going to go in there like so. And then this bearing goes in like this. So I used one old race, which is the big one. And as near as I can tell, the bearing goes like this. I'll show you guys. So the bearing, make sure you can see it. The bearing, the balls are facing up. What it looks like from the other side is that versus that. To me, this side is up the way it fits. I don't know that there's a difference. And then I believe that gets filled with fluid. So all right, not that anybody would ever do this, but what I did is I machined an extension and pressed it into this part. This is a cast part. And what happened is that the bearing casing, you can see, wore the part down. So I took some off and I pressed this in. It's a nose extension. You can see it took up a bunch of space in there. And what this does is this goes in here. And let's see here. So it goes like that, and then that thing cams around. And what happened originally is this piece, which is the bottom part of the bearing, ate the top of that off. So I know it seems like a lot to go through. I think for me the challenge was, could I fix this? Obviously I'm way past, a $70 pressure washer, but I wanted to see if I could fix it with what I've got here, just kind of as a personal thing. So it's really not a how-to. This thing was past fixing. Can't order the parts because obviously Harbor Freight wouldn't sell you just the components and probably wouldn't even sell you the whole thing. So hey Harbor Freight, my pressure washer blew up and I didn't do anything to blow it up. So anyways, I'm gonna fix it. So what I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to weld on that seam. I'm going to spot weld it. I already trued it up in the lathe, meaning after I pressed it in, chucked the whole thing up and gently tapped on it till it didn't move in and out. It was trued up. So I'm going to spot weld it. Hopefully it doesn't move around. If it does, I'm not sure what to do then. So little tiny spot welds, hopefully they hold, because there's just not enough press fit to hold it in place. It'll come out if the machine's turning. So all right guys, this is the temporary TIG setup. I just needed to tack it down. So I've got the smallest piece of tungsten in here that came with the kit, the little guy there, and I had the machine set on 100 amps, and then you can see it's tacked up right there, and she's ready to go. I'm gonna make a skim pass and then cut it to length because it's too long right now, and it should be good to put back in the machine. Okay, there it is mounted back in there. You can see the seam down there and the spot welds. And then that race goes in first. And then the bearing. And then I believe this is the way this should have been mounted. You can see it sticks proud a little bit. And so then that should let the pump run against this face here. Oop, oop, oop. And all should be well with the world, I hope. I asked the internet, supposedly I can use that, which is the same oil as that takes. I don't know. Again, there are no instructions, so I left some room. I put about that much oil in and left room in the top. So we'll see. I hope it works. I'm assuming oil expands some, so left a little headroom. We'll see. Who knows? Okay, I looked at my video and the long tab here lines up with these two wings here face the long tab. So it looks like this, long tab facing that way. No one's ever going to take this thing apart, but if you do. All right, gonna put a little grease on here. Last time they had it everywhere but the teeth. So let's see if we can actually get it on the teeth a little bit here. All right, we got grease on the pinion and on the, I don't know what this other gear is called. It's not a rack. And put these together like so. I need 4 bolts. All right, so now we're putting bolts in, and we'll get them in here. Oh, what's the deal there? Is there nuts that go with it? There is. of here, and it sounds nasty because it doesn't got any water in it. Hopefully that works. So, I don't have a super good track record with mechanical things, so probably not going to work, but we'll see. We'll get out there and throw the hose on it. All right. Moment of truth. Will it build pressure or not? That's so awesome. It works, it works. Now the question is, how long is it going to work? can't believe that cobbled mess I did actually put back together and didn't blow up or something.
What are these black spots here? That's not paint.
Hold on. Alright guys, I can't believe it. It works. It's got a little air in the line right now, so it keeps dropping off, but my crappy little Portland pressure washer is back to working again. So I actually did a good job, and the unit actually works. How long it lasts, who knows, but I get to use my pressure washer again. I have another one, I just wanted to fix this one. So anyways, glad I've got it put back together. Talk to you guys later.
Sinking in, I know this feels right. Catching a crazy love moving through me like a wildfire, like a wildfire. Hey, I'm never the same. Golden sun.